Hello and welcome to Google AdWords 101. I'm John Lisbon, founder of Pointit. We are a search engine marketing company located in Seattle. Some of the topics today for Google AdWords 101 include a little bit about the pay-per-click search landscape. We're going to talk about why search is effective, what it looks like. So we're going to actually dive into the interface a little bit. Give you some tips on keyword development, show you some competitive research tools, etc., etc. Kind of a laundry list of items that we're going to go over. We're going to try to give you as many examples and illustrations as possible. Again, Pointit is a Seattle-based search marketing firm servicing the mid-market firms and new ventures since 2002. Some of our great clients, and a little self-promotion never hurt for anybody. And speaking of promotion, this is the search engine landscape right now, with Google, Yahoo, and MSN pretty much the top players. And a look at this pie chart has Google at 70% of the share of searches. And if you combined Microsoft and Yahoo together, they'll comprise about 23%. So even if they had merged, Microsoft and Yahoo would still be a fraction of Google's share. Some of the advantages of paid search are as follows. One, there is no minimum spend. You can choose your maximum daily spending limit. So in other words, you can pay $10, $100 a day. A lot of novice people who are advertising on Google AdWords or companies are usually often afraid of starting because they're not sure how much they're going to spend, and the fear of blowing their budget really quickly. But you can set your maximum daily spend, so that's important to know. Choose how much. You can also choose how much you want to spend per click, and you only pay Google per click, so only if somebody clicks on your ad. It's very effective, and one of the great things about search marketing, and a lot of online marketing for that matter, is that it's trackable, and we can actually track results in real time. So try to do that with Yellow Pages. It's not that easy. Here's a look at the interface, what the advertiser would see, and some of the data that you can collect. And we're going to take a quick look at a chart that shows the effectiveness of paid search. I would look at this directionally. As you can see, search has a higher or better cost per action than various direct marketing methods, including email, Yellow Pages, banner ads, and direct mail. This is according to Piper Jaffray and Company. And as you've all heard by now, we are in a recession. eMarketer estimated in August 2008 that online ad spending would reach $25 billion this year, which is slightly down from its March forecast. But even in a recession, it still represents 17.4% growth over 2007. And search itself will continue, according to eMarketer, comprise about 40% of online advertising. And while, as you can see from the total column below, online advertising should continue to grow at a pretty healthy clip for the next couple of years. What is a paid search? See a show of hands. How many of these ads are paid search? Okay. I can't really see you. This is a paid search placement on Google, or this is actually a SERP, or search engine results page. Little jargon for you. SERP, S-E-R-P, search engine results page. And the paid search ads here are thus. So obviously they take up a lot of prominence and a lot of landscape on the SERP. So it's very important. And that's why one of the reasons search engine marketing has been so effective. I mean, it fits right in there. It's very relevant to what somebody is searching, and people are searching for your ads, and then you're only paying per click. So very different than a banner ad, for instance. And this is what's known as the content network, and some people get confused by this, and I'll try to explain it. These are publishers within Google's search network that host Google ads, but it's not actually, they do not come up based on a search. These are simply ads that are hosted on these publishers' pages, in this case the New York Times, and Google will use its algorithm to try to serve up relevant ads. But again, it's not a proactive search on the user's part. Now we got to look at the campaign structure, or campaign architecture as we like to call it. At the top, of course, you have the account that you're setting up, but then under that you can set up several or many campaigns. And each of those campaigns, within each of those campaigns, you have the ability to set budget, to set geo-targeting. So in other words, where you want your ads to show up. So you can, advertise, for instance, just in Seattle, or you can advertise throughout the whole country, or you can advertise in various other countries. And under the campaigns, we have ad groups. And in those ad groups, that's where you have the keywords and the ad copy. It's very important that you have very tight ad groups. And what I mean by that is that the keywords and the ad copy match each other very well. And the reason to do that is so you have really good click-through rates. And the reason you want high click-through rates is not just to get traffic to your website, which can be great, but remember, you're paying per click, so you really want the most relevant ads. But Google has an algorithm that's called Quality Score, and they put a lot of emphasis on the click-through rate. So if you have a high click-through rate, you're going to have a high quality score, which is going to reduce your cost per click and will allow you to be in higher positions on the SERP, search engine results page. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of control settings in the campaign level, and here are some of those. For instance, number one, you can put an end date to your campaign, which is very important if, for instance, you're setting up a campaign specifically for, let's say, Thanksgiving, and you want it to end on that date, and you don't want to forget about it and keep spending money well after Thanksgiving. So here you can set it and forget it. Budget options below, like I said, $100 a day in this case. And number three, networking and bidding. In this area, or this section, you can decide whether you want to advertise on Google.com, their search partners like AOL, or the content network. And actually this feature where you can add their search partners or not was not available previously, and they recently added this as a feature. So basically you can expect changes all the time. Here you can schedule your ads to rotate evenly or optimize. And the important thing to remember here is you're not optimizing based on click-through rate. You're not optimizing, or ads are not being optimized based on cost per action. So if you choose optimize, the ads that have a higher click-through rate will show more often. As a best practice, we often like to show ads evenly so that we can then use the very good reporting that's available in Google to determine which ads are performing better. And below that, number 5 is the target audience, and there's where you can do the geo-targeting, as I mentioned before. So the Google network is comprised of Google, AOL, Amazon, Earthlink as search partners, content publishers like the New York Times, About.com, and many others. Now remember, those are only examples, and this is a chart directly from Google, so they're going to be mentioning the top tier publishers, but there are a lot of smaller players as well. and that you should be cognizant of. And now we're going to dive right in. This is the view that an advertiser would see within the Google AdWords interface. And on the left side, we see clicks, or we see the keywords and keyword phrases. And then we have the quality score here. As you can see, several of these keywords and keyword phrases have okay quality scores, and another one has poor. This portion has actually been updated again, and you would actually see something a little different right now. And on the right side are the statistics, including conversion. So as you can see, you can track all the way down to the conversion per keyword, which is excellent information, so you can optimize the keywords and lower and increase costs based on how well it converts individually by keyword. You can do the same thing for, you can optimize your ad copy. So that's really when you become, good, and you can start competing with you're more competitive. You don't just set up a program, but a big part of it is optimizing it. And part of that optimizing process is really in the development of keywords and match types. So I'm going to try to explain this. I'll give you a little overview. Remember, this is a Google AdWords 101, and we're trying to keep this at a lowest common denominator level so everybody can understand. Broad match, I'm giving an example of Disney toys. So that's a query, or somebody who types something into a search box would type in Disney toys, for instance. And this is the keyword that you're also bidding on within the, or keyword phrase that you're bidding on within the Google advertising system. So this is a broad match, and it would match up when somebody does a query on buy Disney toys, buy toy Disney, Disney toys online, any combination that includes Disney toys in any order. Phrase match with quotes around it, it would be the same thing. It would be any combination, except it has to be in the same order. So your ad would come up or show if somebody typed in buy Disney toys, but it would not show up if somebody typed in or did a query on buy toys Disney. Exact match has brackets around it. That's how you denote in the system that it's an exact match. And in that case, you would only come up if somebody performs a query on Disney toys. You would not come up in the following other examples, for instance. And a negative match is denoted by a negative symbol before a keyword. That can be added to the ad group level. It can be added to the campaign level. It can even be added to the account level. And in that case, if somebody typed in, for instance, Disney toys, and you had, or Disney toys story, and you already were bidding on Disney toys, your ad would not come up. And there may be a reason why you don't want people clicking on your ad if they're looking for Disney toys story, because you might not make money. So why would you want to pay for it? And as I mentioned, keywords are also really important to develop, and you can easily get carried away. And I'm going to give you a quick example. Here I've taken the word domain. I've added a couple of phrases or qualifiers like buy domain, get domain, and find domain. Then I've added some plurals, misspells of those words, exact match types, and reverse match types. And you can see all the permutations that are flowing down. And that's just, something that, that's really just a beginning. But it's very important to do. And it's very important not to be lazy when you're developing keywords, because of what is known as the long search tail, as illustrated here. Those are a lot of keywords and phrases that are going to give you a competitive advantage if you build them out, because those keywords and phrases are likely to be to be bid on less competitively. So less of your competitors might be bidding on those. So therefore, the cost might be lower. It's often a lot lower to bid on those. And you can get a lot of nuggets and sales out of the long tail. So generally, the philosophy is to cast a wide net. Use customer lingo, not just industry lingo. Group your ads thematically and linguistically to create ad groups. And don't forget synonyms, misspells, brand and targeted terms, and I would even suggest considering bidding on your competitors' terms sometimes. As long as you're not, Google has a policy of not, kind of a neutrality policy on that. You can bid on your competitors' name brand, but you can't show that in the ad itself. So your competitor's trademark cannot come up within the ad, but you can bid on the keyword. Here's a look at a tool to help you do this. This is the Google Keyword Tool. So this will help you build those keyword lists. There's one from WordTracker. Some of our client managers like to use the tool available in Microsoft Ad Center. And here's a tool that will actually allow you, this is a third-party tool, that will allow you to see what your competitors are bidding on. A little sneaky, it's called SpyFu. And there's also another tool that we use commonly called Ad Guru, which shows you share of market for your competitors and your keywords. So it'll tell you the share of market for individual keywords compared to your competitors. Okay, I mentioned quality score before, and I'm going to try to give you an example to illustrate how important it can be. With these two ads or keywords, one has a quality score of 8 and one has a quality score of 4. The one with a quality of score of 4, we're bidding $6.50. And the one that has a better quality score, we're bidding $3. As you can see on the right, the one that we're bidding $3 for is only costing us 50 cents a click, while the one we're bidding $6.50 is costing us $6.25 per click. And we're only getting higher one position on the search engine results page. So that's how critical it can be to have a high quality score, which again is primarily based on the click-through rate, but Google does have a lot of other factors that they factor in. So including the landing page loading time, the relevancy of the landing page, etc. And a lot of people freak out about the quality score because Google often updates that algorithm, just like in search engine optimization, where people can freak out about Google changing the algorithm too. But not to worry, it's pretty stable and it does change. But usually when they're updating that algorithm, they're trying to limit companies that are trying to beat the system, basically. Now this illustration is actually a report that was from Google AdWords that was exported to Excel and then tweaked a little bit so we can identify individual ad copy and compare them to each other. And I'm just trying to give you an example again of the detailed reports in Google AdWords that help you optimize campaigns. Here's a campaign, here's an ad group with two different keywords rotating evenly. And on the right side, we see the number of conversions, the cost per conversion, etc. So great reporting that helps you really improve your performance. Speaking of which, Google Analytics is a free tool made available by Google, of course. Most people have heard of this already, but it's a great free tool. And here's an example of some of the ways we have it tracking for the pointed system. For instance, we have on the top left there, we have a goal set up for anybody who downloads a white paper. Goal number 2 is anybody who goes to the contact page. Goal number 3 is anybody who submits that contact page. So as you can see, there's a drop-off from people who go to the contact page and submit the contact page, and that's kind of known as an abandonment rate. We are also tracking people who sign up for our newsletter. And we have those all broken out, and Google will track those goals by all traffic sources that are coming to your website. And here's a overlay report from Google Analytics, another really cool report. And this shows you the percentage of people who are visiting your website and what percentage are clicking on the links within your website. So down here we see 3% of the visitors are clicking on this link. But up here, 0% during this time period, or nobody, clicked on this link. So, most likely as a marketer, I might want to reevaluate that link and either change the copy or take it out altogether, which I subsequently did. Oops, getting ahead of myself here. One of the tools you have available also on Google is Site Exclusion tool, which is something I'd definitely take a look at. In this case, we opted out of or excluded park domain sites, which are part of the Google network, because their cost per conversion was higher. You can also opt out of various topics and sites within the content network, and I believe on the search network as well. I'll take you through quickly a couple of case studies. One of our great long-term clients, Onvia. I think they've been a client since 2002. And here's an example of work we did with them, developing methodical copy testing practices, optimizing landing pages. So we actually created, or they created, various landing pages that were keyword optimized. So they matched the keywords that we were using in the search engines. And they were also, so basically optimized by keyword theme. And that's what's important here. It's not only about having relevant keyword, relevant ad copy, but it's also having a relevant landing page. And once you get those all in sync, you can see dramatic improvements, and there's a case study to prove that out. Similarly with Concur, another one of our clients, synchronized ad copy, landing pages, and with exhaustive testing, we were able to decrease the cost per lead during this time period significantly. Key takeaways here, Google dominates the market. Why is that important? Well, it tells you if you want to play, you have to play with the big boy. And often that's really the only place you have to advertise. I don't want to say that Yahoo and MSN, but Google definitely dominates right now. Yahoo system and MSN system are very similar, so don't worry about that too much. If you're used to using Google, you can probably work with Yahoo and MSN as well. Paid search advertising, although self-service, can be very complex and very time-consuming. So you really have to decide if you have the time and the attention, or you have an employee who has the time and the attention to manage your search campaigns, or whether it makes more sense to outsource it to a search agency like ourselves. Don't be lazy when coming up with keyword combinations and match types. Really dig for the gold, because that's where you're going to improve your ROI. And know how to spot fraud, but don't let it paralyze you. There is, everybody's heard about click fraud. It's debatable what percentage of search traffic are fraudulent or is fraudulent, but I wouldn't let it paralyze you, because at the end of the day, how is search performing for you? If it's performing ROI positive, then keep spending money on it. Know how to spot fraud. Already there. Use Google Analytics. It's free, but don't use it exclusively necessarily. There are other great tools, some of them that will give you more insights. So tools like Omniture, etc., and use those. But there's always, we recommend that you always use Google Analytics and synchronize keywords, add copies, and landing pages. Thank you for joining us today for Google AdWords 101. I'm John Lisbon. Again, if you need to reach me, if you have any questions, this is my phone number and email address, jonl@pointit.com. Have a great day.